Good morning, everyone. We are live now, and we are about to start the book signing ceremony for the Groans of 279 holding here at Eyoh Publishers, number 3 Car Street of Kaipuna Road. We are expecting our guests. We are about to start. I hope you join us on this occasion. So today we are showcasing the things we do here at Eyoh Publishers. Of course, we publish and distribute books. We do branding. For instance, this shirt that I'm wearing is branded at Eyoh Publishers and specially made for this occasion because today is the book signing for the Groans of 279. So as you can see, this shirt is branded for the occasion, and it is done here at Eyoh Publishers, here at number 3 Car Street of Kaipuna Road. We are about to start, and I hope you join us for the event. So what are those things that are expected of us today? What are the highlights for the event? Number 1, we are going to be signing the collection, The Groans of 279, authored by my humble self. Readers can come in and pick a copy, and then I will sign for them, and then I will answer readers' questions on the collection itself. I will definitely read from the collection, and there will be a review, and there will be a statement by the person who wrote the foreword for the collection. So these are some of the highlights for the event. Guys, we will start with an open prayer because we believe that God guides and rules over everything. So we'll hand over this event into the hands of the Almighty God for direction and guidance. And the person who will do that for us is no other person than Pastor Robert Udakba.
Hello?
Hello, sir, you are on now. Please, could you help us open the event with a blessing?
Hello?
Hello, sir, you are now with us. Could you please help us open the event with a blessing?
It's okay. In the mighty name of Christ.
Amen.
In the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
Father, I give you thanks and I give you glory for your son, Eyoh Etim. Thank you for that you have done his life. And your name be glorified in the mighty name of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Father, I thank you for the answers which he is using very, very judiciously. I am sure you are proud of him. You happen to be proud of those two people who use the 5 and the 2 talents to get them back. May your name be glorified in the mighty name of our Lord Jesus. Lord, I commit him, my son, to you in heaven. I said, may you continue to be his God forever and ever.
Amen.
In the mighty name of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Father, today is not a new birthday. It will be before today as we know the moment that thy son, Eyoh Etim, has set aside that people sign will collect his in today's book signing ceremony. May you show Almighty in the name of our Lord Jesus. I know that he has committed the book unto you in heaven. Whatever is committed to you, you are able to keep. Whatever you are made there, you are able to coordinate. the day that He has made you the speaking head and all the overall head of His book signing ceremony, may you be there, God, and do signs and wonders in the mighty name of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Bless the program. Bless the celebrants. Bless all those who will attend. As many has come to sign, as you bless the person in the quarter of the work, may you also bless them. And at the end of today, may all say, Thou art God. Thank you, Father. For I commit this program on you, and I declare it open in the name of God the Father,
Amen.
Son, and
Amen.
Holy Spirit.
Amen.
In Jesus' mighty name.
Amen. Thank you so much, sir.
Amen.
Thank you, sir. God
Thank
bless.
you. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. God bless. So that was the opening prayer by Pastor Robert Begba. Thank you very much, sir. So we are open, we are ready to accept guests. And so if you're out there, you're listening to the sound of my voice, we are open. The location is Eyoh Publishers, 3 Acre Street, off the Road, Eyoh. I am poised and excited. I'll be signing the book between now and 5 p.m. And so between now and 5 p.m., you are free to walk into the premises of Eyoh Publishers and obtain a copy of the book, and I'll sign it for you. Thank you very much. Welcome.
Sir.
Good to see you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, welcome.
Yes, sir. My name is Steve Mendy.
Oh,
I have been following you, and I graduated from Department of English.
okay. Let's have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, the name rings a bell. What are you doing now?
I'm doing my master's in
Okay.
But since
Yeah.
this is actually where I want to be, with you course,
Okay.
I cherish things like this, so I decided to come here.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I'm also a friend to your friend, Uma. And
Yeah, Uman is coming here today, incidentally.
I was even thinking I was seeing him.
Yeah, I'm just wondering why he's holding him up, but he should be here soon because he's the one to talk about the book. I think because he teaches literature, engages with literature most of the time, so he's qualified
I
to.
school also. I left
Okay.
because of the master's program.
Okay, so how is the program going?
If I have been doing,
Okay, would you like to say hi to the public?
course.
All right, so come down. So we have here Stephen Etim, master's students from the University of Port Harcourt, graduated from the University of Eyoh. He has come for the book signing. Stephen Etim, please say something to the public.
thank you, Doctor. I'm very grateful for coming around. It's
Even though man is watching, say hi to man.
very interesting. Mr. Man, I know you've abandoned me. I don't know what I've done to you, but it's okay. I hope to see. In fact, it's one of the reasons I came very early because I actually needed to come around to see you.
Yeah, I'm sure man will be here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful, Dr. Eyoh. I really love what you're doing. Although it appears that scholarship is really going down the drain, but then
Yeah, welcome, sir.
we still really believe that yes, it is something that is worth doing.
Yeah,
If not
definitely.
for now, at least for the generations that are coming
Yes.
after us. I'm very excited to be, and I hope to have the best of time.
Thank you. So I would like to ask you about Uniport. How is it going there, your studies and everything?
It's been interesting, very, very interesting. Actually, because when I finished from the University of Eyoh, my undergraduate days, I had some wonderful teachers, which, Dr. Eyoh Etim was once one of them, although I didn't meet him. So I had a very good experience, the teachers, the lectures and all of that. So, when because I needed another experience, when I moved to the University of Port Harcourt, actually I had some kind of fear, what would be obtainable there. But having spent some time, I believe that it is worth it. I've actually had a good time there.
What's your research area?
My research area, African literature, But there's something I have been developing, although I have been meeting some level of disappointments, some level of discouragement from those I think should actually try to understand me. There's an area of literature that I'm actually looking at, and that's masculinism. You know, why do I say this? A lot has been said about feminism. A lot has been done in feminism. Women have actually been very, very assertive over the years.
Of course.
But I also feel, even with my, real life and some practical experiences as a husband, as a father, as a thinker, as a critical thinker at that, my little experiences in life, I have also seen that men are also going through a lot, and nobody's talking about it. These are issues that I've raised in my essays, in my critical writings. I've also done one or two collections about that. But the issue is that since it is not something society wants to hear, I've really been met with some level of discouragement. But I still believe it's a project that I will have to sell to my generation.
Yeah, you know that aspect of literary criticism, whereby at a point the oppressor becomes the oppressed. I think that is what is happening now to men.
I believe so.
I've said this over time, that if you go to Western countries now, men are emasculated because over there most of the laws tend to favor women, and then men tend to now live in fear in their homes. And so the issue of the idea that women are marginalized, are oppressed, I think that the narrative is changing to also consider how men are also oppressed, even when we are operating patriarchy, and even when the dominant idea out there is that men are the oppressors. So that's quite an interesting area, and I wanted to continue in that direction because it favors my critical thinking on some of the ways we revise how we view reality. Yes, it is becoming necessary for us to also examine those who claim to be oppressed, because in some cases they might turn out to be the oppressors. All right, so the narrative is changing, the dynamics is changing, and so we cannot have that one-way discourse anymore. So, and I'm happy that we have more and more scholars who are beginning to realize that, because it is from what is going on in society that we're able to, theorize and change the directions of contemporary literary criticism. So, well done.
It's okay, thank you, Doctor.
So, how many copies are you picking?
I can't really say for now, but it's okay. Thank you for having me, Doctor.
No problem. Welcome. Good morning, everyone. I'm glad to announce to you that the reviewer is in the house. The reviewer for the Groans of 279 is none other than Mr. Uman. Man engages with literature every other day because he's a teacher of literature, teacher of English language in schools and colleges, and I know and I'm sure that he's the right person to do justice to the Groans of 279. So very soon we'll bring on a man to give us a review of the book. Stay attentive. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So I am happy to announce that we have a guest in the house that we would like to speak to, and he's a master student from the University of Eyoh. He's all the way from Gabon. Please come. Oh, okay, sorry. He's a PhD student from the University of Eyoh, all the way from Gabon. Please introduce yourself. Let's have a discussion.
All right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Liping is Achune. You sound like the name is not uh, casual in the area. But I came here, I met the author last time. He talked to me about the book. I found it very interesting. That is why I decided to attend the event. And sometimes it's very important to take part of those things that deal with literature. As myself is a student who does literature like studies, and today it is a pleasure for me to be part of the event. Thank you.
So let me ask you how your studies in the University of Eyoh is going.
So over there, I appreciate how teachers deliver lectures and how things are then doing, and I really appreciate. As far as, for example, I can say Professor Luke Young, one of the best lecturer at the university, and the manner he's expressed himself, and he encouraged some students to be engaged in writing, even analysis of different books. For me, it's very convenient.
Okay, so it might interest you to know that Professor Lukeyo has also positively impacted my life as a student, as a scholar. He was my master's dissertation supervisor at the University of Eyoh, right? And what I did was the application of the laws of physics to literary text.
Oh.
Okay, specifically I studied Tolstoy's War and Peace and Love in the Time of Cholera by Kasia Marquez. And it was Professor Lukeyo who saw me through that difficult assignment.
Okay.
And it was fairly successful. So you are right to say that he's one of the impactful lecturers there. Tell us about your research right now, Lady Sophie.
So my research for now, we told me to bring three topics. From the topics, we will select one of them that suit them in terms of the typical issue, and maybe in some weeks they will assign me the supervisor to start writing. But there is no matter for that.
Okay, so what area are you looking at?
So I'm writing on a post-colonial theory and in a literature, post-colonial African studies. So I would like to deal with the issue of identity across regions in Africa.
Okay. All right, so it's good to have you here with us, and I hope you pick up the book and then I'll sign for it, because that's actually why you're here. While we're expecting your friend, Mr. Sheikh, we would like to continue with the rest of the program, so you're highly welcome, sir.
Okay, thank you so much.
And I would just like to ask you, maybe, how has your experience been? I think there's a kind of cultural shift here, coming from Gabon, and then staying in Eyoh for this number of maybe months or days. What has your experience been like?
Oh, the experience was really hard at the beginning because I felt sick.
Oh.
And I had like a high BP pressure due to the food, the environment, and the landscape also. But apart from that, I appreciate the weather and how things are done here. I really appreciate. But life here, the security, I don't have any idea about it because it is a peaceful area.
Yeah,
you don't have such challenge. And though before coming, people were talking about Nigeria that is stable. We meet many problems here in terms of security, but since I've been here, I haven't encountered such problem, especially in Eyoh Akwa Ibom State.
Okay, so what would you say is the difference between Gabon and here?
So the difference is, first, life is costly here. There is a problem of constant light, and Gabon we have such problem, but not at the same level. But today in Nigeria, especially in Akwa Ibom State, light is a real challenge, and we hope that we will change it and find solution to settle the trouble.
Okay, so what are the things that impress you most about Akwa Ibom and Nigeria generally?
Well, yeah, of course.
In the culture.
The culture, in terms of culture, is I mean, social cohesion. Yeah, social cohesion is part of the basics, and also the welcoming of foreigner. We don't have any difference in terms of xenophobic understanding. We respect a foreigner like a native. There is no difference, and if you behave as the native behave, you will be welcome in Uyo. I haven't encountered such problem here.
All right. Glad to have you here once again, and we hope to talk to you very soon on the book, maybe when you get to read it, and have insight. Are you working on poetry or any other genre?
I'm working on novels.
Okay, novels. All right.
Thank you.
No problem. Welcome. All right. It is time for the review of the Groans of 279. As I said earlier, the person to undertake the assignment is here. He is a teacher, a scholar, a brilliant soul. He engages with literature most of his life, and he's the one to do justice to the text. His name is Mr. Man Uman, and he has the floor to review the Groans of 279. Man.
A review of Eyoh Etim's The Groans of 279. Title: The Groans of 279. Author: Eyoh Etim. Genre: Poetry. Publishers: Planeyo. Town of publication: Uyo. Year of publication: 2025. Pagination: XI plus 91, giving us a total of 102. The ISBN 978 978 698 7057. Price not stated. Reviewer: Oman. The author: Eyoh Etim is a novelist, poet, and lecturer in the Department of English, Faculty of Arts, Akwa Ibom State University, Ubioba. He has a PhD in African Literature and Criticism from the University of Ibadan, Nigeria. The Groans of 279 is his most recent publication. Summary: when a people groan, it is not merely out of pain, but out of a deep yearning for justice and change. The Groans of 279, set in Nigeria, captures the collective voice, turning suffering into a powerful call to conscience. Eyoh Etim's The Groans of 279, 2025, is a collection that captures the frustrations, disillusionment, and resilience of the Nigerian workers in the face of political corruption, or governance, and social decay. The title contains an emblem, a metaphor, 279, which identifies with oppressed workers the world over. All workers are entitled to their wages, but when these wages are delayed, withheld, or denied, the living conditions of such workers become deplorable, leading to stagnated growth, unspeakable economic hardship, low productivity, social unrest, and erosion of trust. Groans suggest fatigue, weariness, maltreatment, and frustration of the working citizens, while those in power are arrogant, greedy, and highly extravagant. The poems in this collection address a wide range of interconnected issues, ranging from politics and leadership failure, social decay and corruption, democracy and disillusionment, to sufferings and pains and resistance and hope. The Groans of 279 is a cry of a people, raw, urgent, and impossible to ignore. By giving voice to the silenced, the collection stands as a testament to the power of literature in confronting injustice. It exemplifies how literature transforms individual suffering into a communal voice for justice and change. Structure of the collection. The collection shows an artistic blend of postmodernist and postmodernist tendencies. The poems in this collection are divided into 3 parts. The first part, the opening section, entitled Pre-Challenge Musings. This section contains 6 poems. It opens with the poem My Birthday Wish and ends with O Humans. The Pre-Challenge Musings captures the poet's personal reflections and sad realities occasioned by the refusal to pay workers what is rightly theirs. This section sets the tone for the collection. The mid-section, 30 Days Challenge on 279. This section features the bulk of the poems, as the poet writes 1 poem each day for a period of 30 days. These poems were first published on the internet, Facebook precisely, before they were produced in print. This gives the collection the postmodernist texture. This section explores the sad political realities in Nigeria. The section holds Akwa Ibom, Africa, Nigeria, and other continents of the world as a portrait for people to see how badly they have treated their dedicated workers, how they have reduced them to a laughingstock in the society, how they have handicapped them such that they cannot measure up with their contemporaries in other climes. This section ends with the iconic poem, Total Surrender and Closures for 279, where the poet says he has told the truth the way the muse guided him about the corporate crime committed against a set of workers in the university. And he has surrendered everything to the creator of the universe. This total surrender makes him happy, relieved, light, and ready. That you'll find on page 84. And the closing section, the post-challenge musings. This section has the least number of poems, 2. It reveals hypocrisy in the struggle for 279, emancipation. This section closes the section or the collection with highlights of damages done by 279 on 279. In sum, there are 3 sections in the collection and 38 poems in all. Thematic and stylistic exploration. Socio-political commentary. Etim's focus concern is the critique of leadership failures and the broader condition of democracy in Nigeria. His poems oscillate between hope and disillusionment, reflecting pervasive socio-political anxieties. Sounds as poetic tools. A linguistic analysis of the collection emphasizes Etim's use of phonostylistic devices such as alliteration, assonance, consonants, meter, onomatopoeia, repetition, rhyme, and intonation to enrich both forms and meaning of his poems. It reveals that segmented sound features dominate over prosodic ones, underscoring the intrinsic relationship between sound and sense in his work. Language. The language is at once unfractured and insistent, relying on repetition, sonic resonance, and dissonance to evoke a sense of unease. The text situates itself within the lineage of experimental literature that foregrounds voice, breath, and sound as primary carriers of meaning, underscoring how language can both communicate and conceal, soothe and unsettle. The use of both simple and complex words indicates a conscious manipulation of language registers, allowing the writer to balance clarity with sophistication, accessibility with depth, and immediacy with resonance. The use of local dialects adorns the collection with African sensibilities, giving local origin to the poems, though its coverage is global. The use of coinages symbolizes the poet's assertion that language is not fixed, but fluid, capable of being reshaped to express what lies beyond ordinary speech. Style. Literary inclined people, and indeed lovers of literature, have known the peculiar characteristics of the different genres of literature. However, it is worth to note that this collection does not follow the known characteristics of poetry as a genre. The style reveals a fusion of postmodernism and post-postmodernism, as some of the poems are prosaic, some come in the form of dialogue that's dramatic, while others start as poetry but later metamorphosed to prose. This amalgamation of features echoes the complexity and trauma and resistance. There are also indicators that some poems are drawn from folklores from the poet's society. Any reader who attempts to impose rigid generic views or the characteristics of poetic genre on this collection will not enjoy this masterpiece. Strength of the collection. Bold commentary. Etim cements himself as a committed chronicler of societal ills, pairing clarity of message with stylistic finesse. Rich soundscape. The collection excels in its use of sonic elements, rhythms, rhymes, and echoes that heighten poetic texture and emotional impact. It is rootedly African. Whether through environmental imagery or cultural geography, Etim's poems maintain a strong sense of place and heritage. Imagery, rhythm, proverbs, local dialect from Nigeria's background permeate the collection, grounding the work in local realities. Everyday language. The poet deploys ordinary language, engaging in a conversation that yields meaning. The poet does not use high-sounding metaphoric or dramatic language, but the tone reveals the extent of damage caused. Evolving poetic strategy is another strength of the collection. Etim's movement from direct critique or to a more layered expression and the refusal to address these poems in the collection with the attire of a particular genre suggests both maturity and innovation in his craft. Everyday resilience. Despite despair, the collection contains glimmers of humor and a stubborn hope for a better society. And the weakness of the collection. Subtlety over accessibility. Readers unfamiliar with the Nigerian political or historical context may miss nuances or local allusions without supplementary context. Similarly, local dialect used in the poems without translation, footnotes, or glossary could limit comprehension by those who do not understand the local dialect. Conclusion. The Groans of 279 resonates less as a conventional narrative and more as an atmosphere, dense, unsettling, and captivating. Its strength lies in how it transforms repetition and discomfort into a kind of rhythm, pulling the reader into a weight of its settings and the characters. While its experimental style may not appeal to every taste, those willing to sit with its uneasy cadences will find a work that lingers long after the final page, leaving behind an echo that feels both haunting and strangely human. Final thoughts and recommendations. The Groans of 279 is a potent and artfully rendered collection. It reaffirms Etim's standing as a chronicler of injustices perpetrated in the society. I strongly recommend the collection to all lovers of literature in Nigeria and the world over. Students and teachers in language and literature departments will find in its content something fresh and exciting to research on. For those who enjoy poetry that marries formal ingenuity with social conscience, those who appreciate African sensibilities, those who relish the amalgamation of styles and the postmodernism form, Eyoh Etim's collection, The Groans of 279, is a rewarding, resonant read. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, man, for that interesting and therapeutic review. Perhaps we might have comment on it after the interview. For now, thank you so much. So I would like to at this point bring on the recorded statement we received from the person who wrote the foreword for the collection. His name is Dr. Joseph Mayaki. He's a rhetoric instructor currently at the University of Utah, United States of America. And we'll just have an interlude, and after that we'll play what Dr. Mayaki has to say about the collection. Of course, when you pick up a copy of the collection, you will see his words, but he made a recorded statement also for this event, and so I would like to play it for you, so that you also have a glimpse of the collection following the review, following the effective review from Man O Man. We're about now to listen to what Dr. Mayaki has to say about the collection. Dr. Mayaki, as I've just said, is a rhetoric instructor at the University of Utah, United States of America. He wrote the foreword for the Groans of 279 and made a recorded video that comments on the collection.
Hi everyone. Eyoh Etim has asked me, he's also a friend, has asked me to write a foreword for this book, and it is with great honor that I accepted to do that. The Groans of 279 is more than just a book of poems. It is a people's protest, a workers' lament, a chant against silence. Etim has gathered the muted cries of laborers betrayed by bureaucracy and transformed them into a living language. These poems are not bound by genre. At times, they speak as monologues, sometimes as ancestral chants, sometimes as unsent letters. Their strength lies in their refusal to be confined, just as the people's voice must not be confined to or by unjust systems. And what began as a 30-day social media challenge has become a literary act of defiance. In an age of fleeting outrage, Etim's persistence calls us to sustained attention, to remember, to feel, and to act. The Groans of 279 makes the local struggle universal. It turns a crisis into a symbol, a metaphor for all workers trapped in silence across the world. It is a brave, generous work that belongs not only to the literature of labor, but to the larger story of our shared humanity. May these groans not go unheard. May they stay us towards justice. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayaki. I will definitely I'll post the review now, the statement now on Facebook, so that people can listen to what Dr. Mayaki has to say about the collection. So I'm making the post now. So the
Hi,
the
everyone.
statement by Dr.
Our
Mayaki is
gifted
now on
author,
Facebook.
Eyoh Etim,
You can
has
listen to it
asked
again.
me, who is also a friend, has asked me to write a foreword for this book, and it is with great honor that I accepted to do that. The Groans of 279 is more than just a book of poems. It is a people's protest, a workers' lament, a chant against silence. Etim has gathered the muted cries of laborers betrayed by bureaucracy and transformed them into a living language. These poems are not bound by genre. At times, they speak as monologues, sometimes as ancestral chants, sometimes as unsent letters. Their strength lies in their refusal to be confined, just as the people's voice must not be confined to or by unjust systems. And what began as a 30-day social media challenge has become a literary act of defiance. In an age of fleeting outrage, Etim's persistence calls us to sustained attention, to remember, to feel, and to act. The Groans of 279 makes the local struggle universal. It turns a crisis into a symbol, a metaphor for all workers trapped in silence across the world. It is a brave, generous work that belongs not only to the literature of labor, but to the larger story of our shared humanity. May these groans not go unheard. May they steer us towards justice. Thank you.
I think we can listen again to Dr. Mayaki's words because they are poetry in themselves.
Hi, everyone. Our gifted author, Eyoh Etim, has asked me, who is also a friend, has asked me to write a foreword for this book, and it is with great honor that I accepted to do that. The Groans of 279 is more than just a book of poems. It is a people's protest, a workers' lament, a chant against silence. Etim has gathered the muted cries of laborers betrayed by bureaucracy and transformed them into a living language. These poems are not bound by genre. At times, they speak as monologues, sometimes as ancestral chants, sometimes as unsent letters. Their strength lies in their refusal to be confined, just as the people's voice must not be confined to or by unjust systems. And what began as a 30-day social media challenge has become a literary act of defiance. In an age of fleeting outrage, Etim's persistence calls us to sustained attention, to remember, to feel, and to act. The Groans of 279 makes the local struggle universal. It turns a crisis into a symbol, a metaphor for all workers trapped in silence across the world. It is a brave, generous work that belongs not only to the literature of labor, but to the larger story of our shared humanity. May these groans not go unheard. May they steer us towards justice. Thank you.
And I still think that we need to listen again to Dr. Mayaki.
Hi,
for the last
everyone.
time.
Our gifted author, Eyoh Etim, has asked me, who is also a friend, has asked me to write a foreword for this book, and it is with great honor that I accepted to do that. The Groans of 279 is more than just a book of poems. It is a people's protest, a workers' lament, a chant against silence. Etim has gathered the muted cries of laborers betrayed by bureaucracy and transformed them into a living language. These poems are not bound by genre. At times, they speak as monologues, sometimes as ancestral chants, sometimes as unsent letters. Their strength lies in their refusal to be confined, just as the people's voice must not be confined to or by unjust systems. And what began as a 30-day social media challenge has become a literary act of defiance. In an age of fleeting outrage, Etim's persistence calls us to sustained attention, to remember, to feel, and to act. The groans of 279 makes the local struggle universal. It turns a crisis into a symbol, a metaphor for all workers trapped in silence across the world. It is a brave, generous work that belongs not only to the literature of labor, but to the larger story of our shared humanity. May these groans not go unheard. May they stay us towards justice. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Our gifted author, Eyoh Etim, has asked me, who is also a friend, has asked me to write a foreword for this book, and it is with great honor that I accepted to do that. The Groans of 279 is more than just a book of poems. It is a people's protest, a workers' lament, a chant against silence. Etim has gathered the muted cries of laborers betrayed by bureaucracy and transformed them into a living language. These poems are not bound by genre. At times, they speak as monologues, sometimes as ancestral chants, sometimes as unsent letters. Their strength lies in their refusal to be confined, just as the people's voice must not be confined to or by unjust systems. And what began as a 30-day social media challenge has become a literary act of defiance. In an age of fleeting outrage, Etim's persistence calls us to sustained attention, to remember, to feel, and to act. The groans of 279 makes the local struggle universal. It turns a crisis into a symbol, a metaphor for all workers trapped in silence across the world. It is a brave, generous work that belongs not only to the literature of labor, but to the larger story of our shared humanity. May these groans not go unheard. May they stay us towards justice. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Our gifted author, Eyoh Etim, has asked me, who is also a friend, has asked me to write a foreword for this book, and it is with great honor that I accepted to do that. The Groans of 279 is more than just a book of poems. It is a people's protest, a workers' lament, a chant against silence. Etim has gathered the muted cries of laborers betrayed by bureaucracy and transformed them into a living language. These poems are not bound by genre. At times, they speak as monologues, sometimes as ancestral chants, sometimes as unsent letters. Their strength lies in their refusal to be confined, just as the people's voice must not be confined to or by unjust systems. And what began as a 30-day social media challenge has become a literary act of defiance. In an age of fleeting outrage, Etim's persistence calls us to sustained attention, to remember, to feel, and to act. The groans of 279 makes the local struggle universal. It turns a crisis into a symbol, a metaphor for all workers trapped in silence across the world. It is a brave, generous work that belongs not only to the literature of labor, but to the larger story of our shared humanity. May these groans not go unheard. May they stay us towards justice. Thank you.
So we are still here at Planeyo Publishers, 3 Acre Street of Eyoh, and we are into the book signing ceremony for the Groans of 279, published by my humble self. I am here, and I'll be here till 5 p.m. to sign copies of the book for the members of the public. And so you can come into Planeyo Publishers and pick up copies of the book, and I will sign them for you. So we've heard from Dr. Mayaki on his views on the Groans of 279. He was the one who wrote the foreword for the collection, and when you get the book, you get to know his views on the collection. Very soon I will start reading from the collection. For now, we can have music interludes. So the collection 279, authored by my humble self, is mostly made up of poems that I wrote and posted on the internet on what I may call 30 days challenge on poetry writing on the subject of 279. And of course, you know that we live in the era where people do social media rants, and so the collection emerged from such ranting on the social media, and to defend a cause, to project a cause, and that's the cause of 279. And this is done in poetry, and we are gradually birthing new forms of literature in the area of digital humanities, so that just as we have, we have the movie version of the book, and then the book itself, and people can compare the experience between the two. We're also beginning to have, works of art exist on the internet, and then also exist as in a book form, so that you can also compare the two experiences. So, and this is part of the postmodern realities in the arts and humanities, because in the era we live in, we are looking at how literature affects and is affected by the existence of sophisticated technologies, including the internet. So the first poem that I would like to read is from the section of the collection titled Pre-Challenge Musings. Pre-Challenge Musings. So we had poems that I wrote before the main challenge, the 30 days challenge, and there were also poems that I wrote after the challenge, still based on the subject matter of 279. Okay, so of course you hear me mentioning 279 all the time. 279 is now a strategic symbol for the oppression of workers and denial of their rights. It does not refer anymore to a particular set of workers. Okay, so and that's how you're supposed to understand it. It's now a metaphor that refers to all oppressed workers anywhere in the world. All right, so we do not seek any specific meaning to it anymore. You can actually make up the term what you like, because it is now a universal signifier for the oppression of workers. So I'm going to read one of the poems that came before the challenge, and I call it May Day for 279. May Day for 279. It is May Day for 279, the forgotten of the earth, those forced to eat the crumbs in the slums of inhumanity. It is May Day for 279, the wretched of the earth, workers who work without reward, waiting for heaven to come so God can give them rest. It is May Day for 279, while others march in glowing colors as elite workers at the stadium. The 279 are marched into depression by the oppression of those who fear no supplication. It is May Day for 279, they stay at home without holiday, but they rest restlessly. It is May Day for 279, they fast while others eat, they sorrow while others joy. It is May Day for 279, a Labor Day tragedy. So that's the point. I will soon read another one. Now I would like to read the second poem, but this time around it will be in the main challenge, 30 days challenge. I'll read from day 9. Day 9. Poem for day 9 is Reggae for 279. Brother man, listen, brother man. Me wanna ask you a question. Me must say, is Jah alive and sitting on the throne on high, on heaven high? Is he watching mankind do all the bad things them be doing in this world? Cause brother man, me go Jamaica, me see the devil, me see the evil man do. Me go America, me see Uncle Sam turn men into Uncle Tom. I come Nigeria, me see Balabu, gripped by francophone cattle, down them ghettos, in all them shanty towns. Me see man's wickedness increasing, killing and kidnapping in Benue, Boko Haram in the north, people disappearing on Imo Road, tension in rivers in the midst and season of political defecation. Mr. Lord, serve the righteous. But brother man, the world has turned upside down. Man righteous is now man evil. Man evil is now man righteous. Tell me, brother man, why the laborer labors in vain when Jah said he will bless the work of our hands? Why the laborer goes hungry? Why the worker sweats? That is the point. Reggae for 279. So we have guests in the house, and I would like to introduce them. First of all, we have Mr. Michael Shea in the house to grace the occasion. Mr. Michael Shea, please introduce yourself to the audience.
My name is Oshe Michael Ategu. I am a PhD student from the University of Eyoh. We are here today for my boss, Dr. Eyoh Etim's.
Yeah, the boss.
No, sir, you're the boss. This occasion, I think it is called, I don't know the title.
Book signing.
Book signing and
Meet and greet the author.
meet and greet the author, yes. So, thank you for having me.
Yes, so you're
Okay.
not so fast. You're a PhD student in the University of Eyoh.
Yes.
How's the journey been so far?
Okay. It's been nice. We've been pushing in the way. I'm yet to finish coursework. I'm still doing coursework. So, I think by the end of the next 2 weeks, we should be done with coursework.
Okay, are you in language or literature?
I'm in literature,
Which area in literature are you interested in?
African literature, and not very precisely. African novel, not African family.
Okay, so I wish you success in your studies, and welcome to the event. So we've had the review from Man. We've also listened to Dr. Mayaki from the USA speak on the book, and I've started reading some of the poems. So I wish you all the best, and as you enjoy our presentation. So welcome. That was Mr. Michael Shea from the University of Eyoh.
Thank you, sir.
So I would like to read one more poem from the collection before we take on the guest that we have at the moment in the house. I would like to read 2 poems from the main challenge. I would like to read from day 12, right? Day 12 is Jazz for 279. Scat, sat, cat, act. Clap, slap, slap, glad. A penny for your pain. Naira for your minerals. The kobo comes with koboko. Dollar is for the dollars. In cozy cold rooms, where the wheels of fate and fortunes are turned by flesh and blood, the gods stare at a safe distance as men take control of their destiny. But some are not so lucky. Other men get to control the destiny of other men. They turn a button from their power holes and boom, your life changes direction. These earthly gods could decide when you eat, what you eat, and how many times you can eat in a day. They can decide to make you eat crumbs, eat grass, eat from the refuse dump, scattered all over the city, or just stay hungry all day. Scat, sat, cat, act. These human gods can withhold your pay for months and years, and nothing will happen to them. They are accountable to no one except themselves. They can decide when you are happy and when you are sad. In the cold, cozy room, they press governmental buttons and reset your life. Clap, slap, slap, glad. First we clap for them when they throw us crumbs. Then they slap us after we had clapped for them. When we die from the slap, they place us below a stony slab. After this, they become glad that their foremost critic is gone. Scat, sat, cat, act. Scat is for scatter, when the area is scattered by gunshots. Sat is for Saturday, the day they committed the crime of deception and theft. Cats are for catwalks, the footsteps of deceptive maidens. Acts are the performatives of acts of anger. The jazz of our existence yawns solo when a musician lives in systemic neglect and abandonment. The song churns the stomach of the listener as it gradually gravitates away from reality into the void prepared for empty intestines. Page 279. That is the point. Jazz for 279. Okay, thank you very much. I would just like quickly to acknowledge our viewers. We've had Israel Marcus. He said, "Good one, doctor." Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Israel Marcus. We had Titi Ikobima, who has been watching all this while. Thank you so much, Titi Ikobima. You said good morning, and I can tell you now good afternoon. And Uman reviewed the collection, insightful review there. Thank you, Man. And Precious. Thank you, Precious, for watching. Christy Pius is watching. Thank you. Christy ordered the book. and we send a copy to you wherever you are. We have Imeba C, Ekpe City. Say, congratulations, doctor. Thank you very much. And then we have Michael Usoro. Michael Usoro says, well done, doctor. Thank you. And we have, of course, we have Isongo Yokman all the way from the University of Ibadan saying, well done, doctor. Thank you so much. So we have a guest in the house, and he is from the Writers Menja Network. Right, so welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Introduce yourself to the viewers and a word or two.
My name is Eyoh Etim, and I am the Dean of the Writers Mentor Network's Learning Community, a community of writers poised with the responsibility of breeding the excellent breed through creativity. I have come here today to grace the occasion of the book signing of someone who has over time become a mentor. We haven't met for quite a while, but just an encounter with him had changed our perspectives on a whole lot of things, and I have come here today to consolidate to show what was the word? Solidarity with him as someone who has impacted our lives. I want to encourage you to get a copy of the book 279. And
the Groans of 279. Thank you very much. I was really impressed by your organizational ability that day when I came came for the occasion. So what do you do? Do you go around organizing things?
Well, aside going around, I like to call ourselves literary. What's that word? Apart from anything, we are literacy advocates. So we go on literacy advocacy programs to rural communities. The last one we did was at Oron. We've gone to Ikono, and we've done a whole lot in Eyoh municipality. So it's basically just going there, preaching the gospel of literacy, making them understand that literacy is not only the sole purpose of literacy is not just to know how to read and write. It is to know how to communicate. It is to get out of our comfort zone, get out of mediocrity, and then get our lives bettered. It's not necessarily because it's not about the fluency of the English you speak. It's not about knowing everything. It's about having at least an idea of the basics, an idea of the most important things. For us, that's literacy.
Okay, so because I was going to ask you about the essence of the Writers Menja Network and your activities. So do you have more to add to that specifically?
Yes, we have we organize within Eyoh at the Learning Center training sessions for intending writers, practicing writers, for all writers. So it's an all-in-one encompassing network. In as much as you write, I like to tell my students that even if it's market list you're writing something, and you can decide to not write that in the regular manner. You can decide to, like myself, I use myself for instance, I don't write periwinkle in my market list. I just take away the peri and just winkle. That's poetry to an extent, that's elision, and it's a literary device. So writing can evolve. What matters is that you start. So when you start, most of us start out very bad. It's not going to be beautiful, but what matters is that you're writing. As my mentor would say, your wit will get wittier, and as when you romance with your craft a whole lot. So if you're not writing, if you don't start writing, you won't become a better writer. So let's say someone that wanted to start writing 20 years ago but didn't start writing, maybe would have become a better writer today. But because he didn't start 20 years ago and he's starting today, he's still not a better writer. So just start, anyhow it is, just start, keep trying. Let people review your work, show your work to people, show it to friends, let people read it, let people have a perspective, let people have an opinion about your work. That's criticism, and good enough. Doctor here is a literary critic and a very powerful one at that.
All right, thank you so much. We are glad to have you.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have you in the house. Someone that I might call Big Wig and a big fish for that matter. we have Mr. Kanesian. Mr. Kanesian is a prolific writer, a great and a proud son of a Bible state, and he's a dramatist, he's a playwright, and a novelist, and a poet. He has written across the genres, and a award winner. In 2024, he won Anna Prize for Literature with his play When Uncle Koro Koro Came to Town. And he's here with us. Kanesian is the current chairman of the Association of Nigerian Authors Bible State Branch. And we are proud to have him here with us at Eyoh Publishers for the book signing ceremony for the Groans of 279, authored by my humble self. So Kanesian, greet the house.
Yeah, well done. God bless you. This is afternoon or morning. We don't know because the weather has not told us what
the time is what you say it is. Because poets will define reality with their words, right?
You're right.
So if you say it is morning, then it is morning. Nobody can question.
Nobody can question
because you are a poet.
All right, house. It's a pleasure to be here. You know, Dr. Eyoh Etim has really impacted so much. I've read so many of his works, and I know today he's just adding one more again. And before the year will run out, I know 2 more may come in. Congratulations, Doctor.
I have to keep pushing.
All right, yes.
Yeah, so Anna, you're the chair of Anna. How is Anna doing today?
Anna, thank God for Anna. God has resurrected us. You know, a lot of things that happened, but now we are on a plane and we are going to run fast and we're going to do wonders. We are planning for a state convention, and we are praying that God will give us the resources, because we are talking about resources. You know, you can't plan even like this writing that Dr. Etim has come up with. If he were not a publisher, I doubt he will be able to be bringing out books anyhow. But God has really helped him, even as a publisher. You know, he will tell you how much he has sunk into this work, understand? So what I'm trying to say in essence is that God helping us, and then the resources being available, we know that Anna is going to do wonders in this state.
Yeah, incidentally, you are also a publisher, and an established one at that. You know, you've been in publishing for many years now, and your publishing firm is called Sene Books. Right, great. So what is the terrain like in Akwa Ibom State publishing?
We don't have many publishers in Akwa Ibom State. In Akwa Ibom, we have printers. Understand? People will not want to, you know, patronize publishers because they know very well that, you know, our rates might sound a bit high, but then we give you the best, because we have the editorial team that work on your works. Understand that you give to us. It is not garbage in, garbage out with us. Understand? We really take time, give you advice, give to our editorial board, and we see how they can come up with something. And then we still have the moral listen to sit down, read your work, and see what we can add to it. So, you know, in publishing in Akwa Ibom State, people want the easy way out. Get down to the printer brings it out, and that is why you find such average books coming out here in Akwa Ibom State. But if we want to talk about the publishing business here in Akwa Ibom, it's tight because people don't know us. People, not that we don't exist, but they just don't want to know us. They look at the issue of the money. How much are we going to spend? How much are we? Because we cannot collect like the printers. We are going to talk about the editorial input. Do you know how much it is to pay for an editor, a good editor at that, to give you what you want? No. Do you know that sometimes you have to pay for a structural editor in literature? Understand? Because the person will have just to put some 1 or 2 things to your literary text. Understand? Before we talk about the language editor. So I think these are the issues that make people turn away from us. The publishing, we are believing God that very soon people will come to know and understand that publishing work is not like printing work. They should look for a real professional.
Okay, so you're a man of high capacity. You're into publishing, you're into writing, you're chairman of WANA. So what will you have? What advice will you have for writers in the Akwa Ibom State, especially the younger ones who are coming on?
Okay, you see, I want to give the first advice I want to give is like what my supervisor told me when I was at ABU. He said, don't write for money. No, some of these guys come out with hungry textbooks like that, hungry plays, hungry prose. They say, all because they feel there's money inside of it. How many people read in Nigeria? Do you know, if I ask Dr. Etim now, all the books you've written and you've given to even profs, how many of them have read? How many of them have given you any criticism on what you've done? How many of them have come to tell you, these are wonderful things that I've seen in your work? And people don't read, and because they don't read, they will not buy. Everybody wants to collect. They want to collect. Give me a copy, give me a copy. But how many of them will go home and read? No, none. I remember my first book, Dialogue of Angels. I gave out almost 200 copies. How many people, how many feedbacks did I have from people? Now, beginners, listen to me. You can write what comes into your mind. Don't try to be like the second advice that now don't try to be like another person. Don't try to be like Wule Shrinker. Don't try to be like Chino. You can be that example that somebody will also wish to copy from. Understand? Now, right? The things that I write are things that someone has done. I like the way you delve into pre-colonial things and all those kind of characters and that. Now, you write, bring out your own unique voice, understand your write-up. And then, you see, you are going to develop it over time. It's not something that our people say, you don't say, get the game, it's not that Facebook, but sometimes some people, Facebook, but even when you hear that somebody's Facebook has made a mark, know that the person has been writing quietly at the background. Understand? So don't believe that your Facebook is going to hit the mark. No. And don't also believe that your book is the best, because you are bound to see other people that have written something that is very different, powerful, and more fantastic. But always believe that what you've written is much more better than every other person's own. And that is what will push you to keep on writing. And don't be lazy. Sincerely speaking, laziness has come. Even myself, I know, I can tell you, there's a book I wrote for 3 years. And how many pages? 100 something pages. For 3 good years. That was laziness. But there's a book I've written, like the Terminus, I wrote for a week. And when Uncle Korogo came to town, I wrote for two weeks. Understand? So, you see, don't be lazy. When that thing comes on, you sit down and then get going. And if you don't have a computer, use your textbook, a size book. You can scribble down something, and before you know, you can then send it out for typing. And God will bless you.
Yes, one final thought. You know, it's one thing to talk about the problems, and then another thing to talk about the solution. So it's always good to talk about both the problems and the solution. So, being that you are a writer and a publisher, chairman of ANA, what do you think is the problem with writing, publishing in Akwa Ibom State and in Nigeria, and the possible solutions to those problems?
See, number one, people have fantastic manuscripts and they don't have anybody to sponsor them. Sponsorship, patronage, and sponsorship should put them, they work hand in hand. Now, if you don't have patronage, someone that will help you to get this work out, you feel so frustrated. Why do I have this manuscript? And every time you lie down, your spirit is telling you that this manuscript can go to the whole world. But then nobody is out there to help out. Now, if you come to ANA, because ANA we are planning seriously for grants to give to young writers to see what they can do with themselves. Understand? If you come to get registered with ANA, by and large, God is going to help us. Very soon we'll have the money to help you out. And then don't write and also try to keep it to yourself. Go to uncles' houses, go to people. You can get a small specimen of the work out and get to people and tell people, oh, look at what I've done, look at what I've done. They give you 20,000, they give you 50,000, they give you whatever amount. You gather them, and then before you know it, you've gotten 2 or 3 this thing. And also try to send your works to, since we have the issue of patronage and sponsorship, try to send your works to reputable publishers. Understand? Not the kind of publishers that you send your work to and they will hijack it and they becomes theirs. You bring your work to Planet or here, or you bring it to me. I can never steal your work. I have 18 published books. Why am I stealing? Why will I steal? Understand? I doubt Eyoh can never, steal your work. Now, what am I trying to say? If resources come in to us, we can want to look at that work and see what we can do with it. And then we are also, in the Aquarium State, we find filling stations everywhere, hotels everywhere. We are trying to see how we can raise this consciousness for our big men in the society to see the need to be connected to literature. And know that literature can change the landscape, can change this state, can change people in this state. It can put food on somebody's table, literature. And if every year, every 3 years syllables and stuff, Ministry of Education considers indigenous literature. Because we look at indigenous writers, understand who write literature. You see, it will go a long way to help us. But when we look at it that they bring people from this, I'm not against bringing people from this. I'm not against competition, but I'm saying that look, you should also give preference to the indigenous writers before you start bringing people and adding people to them. So I think that's the bit I can say about it.
And the role of government.
The role of government, yes. Then it comes to this point of who will take us to the man. Because we are talking about the government. If the government were to do something about literature, see, this state, you'll be so shocked to find so many young writers that are just wasting away in secondary schools. Now look at it. I think there's need for Anna also to work, because if Anna had been able to push to the point of the Commissioner of Education taking her request to the state government, I feel the government would have put in raise up a grant for literary writings. Understand? If the government sets up literary prizes for secondary schools, for primary schools, and for established writers, sincerely speaking, the consciousness of writing would have been very high in this state. So I still believe that the government can do something about it by setting up a literary prize to help and stimulate literature in this state.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Kanisin, Chairman of the Association of Nigerian Authors, Bible State Branch, author of many books across the three genres of literature, and winner of Literary Prize, the Anna Prize for Drama 2024. Welcome to the event.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, so we have in the house a great man, a writer, a scholar, a journalist par excellence. His name is Mr. Eyoh Etim. Please, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here. I'm so happy, delighted to be here. Thank you, sir, for having me.
Yes. So we'd like to ask, what kind of books do you read now? After leaving school, have you left school? Are you still in school?
I haven't left school, even if it looks like...
I've left you. Alright, so don't mind me.
Even if it looks like I have suspended, practically it looks like I have suspended my PG studies, my MA studies at the University of Eyoh. I'm actually running a master's there at the Department of English. So right now I read anything that comes my way, not only books that talk about my area of specialization, which is literature and perhaps things connected to the English language. So as someone who is in the media sector, we interact with everything that comes our way. So practically right now, anything that is available, anything that is available to me, we read. That is what happens right now, sir.
Yes, so you have a relationship with Watchman Post.
Absolutely.
What kind of relationship is that?
Well, I'm a staff of the Watchman Post newspaper. The newspaper had its debut on the 27th of April 2022. By the grace of God, I am one of the arrowheads and By the grace of God also, I am the youngest editor in the team of Watchman Post. We have the former Dean of Arts, Professor Desmond Wilson of the Communication Arts Department of University of Eyoh. He's the chairman of our editorial board. We also have the person of Dr. Sonny Hantai, who was the former Zone F chairman of the NUJ, former chairman of NUJ in Akwa Ibom State. Himself, the retired director of information in the Ministry of Information of Akwa Ibom State. He is the editor-in-chief of the newspaper. And then we also have a retired staff of Pioneer newspaper here, who is currently our editor. His name is Eyoh. We have a team of professionals there in Watchman Post, and by the grace of God, there was something that happened that shook the foundation of Akwa Ibom State. That was in 2023, when 4 staffers of the organization, emerged winners of different categories of awards at the NUJ Award Night in 2023. So at Watchman Post, we thank God for the grace of God in our lives, but we are just there to do what is needed to be done in the media circle, so that the common man on the street can also be carried along by the government through their policies. Thank you, sir.
Yes, over the years I've seen your passion for journalism, and I remember when you interviewed me after I graduated from my MA, master's degree at main campus. It could have been around 2009 or 2012 or so.
2013 or 2014.
Yeah. And between that time and now, what has changed in the journalism business?
Well, nothing has really changed in the circle of journalism. What I can say is that the society is now more aware of situations of life more than it had ever been, because I think this time is when we call the information stage or the information age globally, because of the advent of the some communication and some information and communication ITs, like the AI, the artificial intelligence, the use of sophisticated equipment for the projection of reports and others. I remember in school when I was at the Polytechnic, there was this course they taught us. That time we were not exposed to it yet. It was called ENG. It had to do with your ability to use some information technology equipment to gather and even report news stories. So by the grace of God, I think from 2014 till now, or from 2014 to now, presently, the society has been more aware of situations because of the social media and the rest. So that is actually the major kind of difference that I can say as a core between that time and now.
Okay, so what are the challenges journalists and the field itself? What would you say are the challenges they're facing in contemporary practices?
Well, definitely there is absolutely nothing a man does in this life that he will not find challenges. Back then in school, when I learned the art of journalism, we were told that as you are going, if you want to practice, there are hazards. They call it the hazards of journalism. Like we also know, if you are a carpenter, you will be playing with nails, you'll be playing with hammer, So if you are a welder, you'll be playing with electrons and things like that. So no matter your area of specialty or specialization, your area of calling as a human being, it is to be expected that you will have some challenges and some hazards. As what I would say is actually one of the hazards in this profession is when people who are custodians of information decide to hoard it. What I mean by that is you have in possession a piece of information that I actually need to conclude. Perhaps I'm doing an investigation, you decide to keep it away. No matter what I try to do, you keep it away from me. That is what I see is most challenging in our clan. I remember when I did a story sometime in 2023 August, I had to write a letter to one of the commissioners in the state. After 2 weeks, the letter was not replied. So I went ahead with the story, and I believe that is the story that gave me an award as the winner of Nelson Etugudo Prize for Print Journalism of the year 2023.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I've seen your work. You've been bold, you've been courageous. Are there consequences for having such an attitude to your work?
I have witnessed since I started journalism. That was January 2012. By the grace of God, I think I'm 13 years in the profession. I witnessed the 2015 elections in Akwa Ibom State, witnessed 2019 elections, and also witnessed the 2023 elections in this state. But what happened is that the 2019 election is one thing that, I don't think there will be a time in my life like 2019 when, the politics was very, very intense in the state, and I was at the center of it all. The politics of party A and party B, trying to dislodge the argument of the other person using practical tools and information that are even at the public glare. So the consequences of the risk that we take on a daily basis is that, remember, my parents told me, if you do not have what to sustain you over there, you can come over to Oron, where I come from. I'm a proud Oronian from Urefong Orugu in Oro Nation. So they told me I should come back home, that they were going to feed me, and I was laughing. If I do not have anything that can sustain me, I should come back home instead of continuing to criticize the government of the day. But by the grace of God, I'm here, and God has kept us, and whatever had been in the minds of men did not come to pass. So the risk of this is that you could be assassinated, you could be blacklisted. I think that is one of the strongest risks in this profession, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so what is the connection between journalism and literature or poetry? Is there any connection?
The connection is rigid. The connection is toxic. The connection is inseparable. You cannot separate literature from journalism. You can't, separate communication from the study of poetry and literature generally, because every piece of literary work communicates information, whether it is a fiction, whether it is things that are contemporary in the society. People see, people feel, people experience that they are happening, and in fact sometimes you could even see different kinds of evidence to prove that these are what happens in our society. So the connection, like I have said, is very strong. You can't separate them, because you would have to use the resource of information to pass your the resource of knowledge, ideas that are existent, to pass it as information to society, to readers. That is the strongest form of connection. But I can say that as a journalist, I have enjoyed myself very profusely and sumptuously, citing, very, very profusely from pieces of literary works that I've read in the past. So it has a way of equipping you with the ideas to even explode. That is how you pick up a topic to write, whether it is criticism, whether it is, piece of eulogy, to promote somebody, to promote situations, to even congratulate government on their policies and what they are doing. At the end of the day, you find yourself citing instances from here and there. So the blend is is unheard of, and it is something that really triggers that connection.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Yeah. So what you've been in practice for 13 years. If someone, a younger person, expresses his or his interest in journalism or writing generally, what would you tell the person, given the realities?
Well, the realities on ground. Well, I have had, an opportunity to see some persons walk up to me to tell me, I like the way you go about issues, read my role sometimes, and then at the end of the day, you still come to hit the nail on the head. I tell them that style is the man, as Eyoh Etim would say, style is the man. So at the end of the day, I keep telling them that it is you that would first of all, generate the interest in yourself, even if you have to be inspired by another person, but you must have that interest to go into the profession. So given the realities on ground, if someone tells me that he wants to study journalism, the first thing I tell the person is this: you must be ready to face the attacks if you have to be a good person, if you have to follow the ethics of the profession, because everything has their own rules and regulations. Even if there is nobody that would, pursue you with a cane to flog you for, trying to dispose a particular rule, regulation, or even an ethical issue. So I encourage persons who look up to me or look up to persons that are higher than myself, to join the profession, because in the absence of a journalist, what will happen in a society is that the society will continue to break until it explodes, with fire and brimstone.
All right, it has been great having you, Mr. Joseph Etim. Please continue doing your work the way you've done. I like the zeal and the passion, and I really wish you well. I welcome you once again to Eyoh Publishers on the occasion where we are doing the book signing for the Groans of 279, which is a book on activism, just like you do in your field journalism. So we all connect. The universe connects us because we are pursuing the same goal, a better society.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So I hope you pick up the book and then you read.
I need to tell the audience that I used to really like and admire my lecturer here. He taught me while I was doing my undergraduate studies at the University of New York. I can't forget how he used to come to class to download a whole epic poem for us in class. So we look up to him too as our inspiration. And I ask those who have the interest in joining, joining journalism, or even going into the study of English language, history, religion, and all of those in the humanities discipline, they should go ahead, because we are also those part of those that keep the world where it is. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have with me in the house Mr. Escobasi, and I would like to welcome him to Eyoh Publishers, where we are having the book signing ceremony for the Groans of 279 and meet and greet the author here at number 3 Castle of Purple. Mr. Escobasi, welcome.
Thank you. Hi. I'm here live with the Dr. Eyoh Etim at the book signing ceremony here today in New York, and meet and greet the author. He's actually have been my mentor and my lecturer then in my undergraduate time in University of Eyoh, after which I had to travel to Abuja. Now I'm into real estate. I work with Champions Properties as the human resource manager. So I have to come here to have that respect for him and to honor his invitation. It's been very amazing time to be with him for a long while, which I'm very sure I'll also sign up my copies at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah. Welcome. So, people say that if you want to make money, you should go into real estate. Is that what you experienced being in the field?
Yeah, actually, real estate is one of the fast-growing investment sector now in Nigeria, especially in Abuja. So people invest their money in real estate, expecting a high return on investment. So there are two levels there. You can buy, you invest for development, or you invest for investment purpose, where you buy and allow the property to appreciate, that value appreciation, then you sell it to have the money, or you buy for development where you build on it. So there are several ways you can make money. The real estate now is one of the latest way of investment and to make money in Nigeria, especially in Abuja, that is really thriving.
Can someone go into real estate without money?
You can't go into real estate without capital. You must have your capital in order to invest, and in it, any amount you go, there's room for there's instrumental payments. Actually, there are properties that there's a property of 1 million, depending on the location in Abuja. So the company can give you up to 6 months for as a payment plan, can pay instrumental. So that you must have your money to go into real estate investment.
So that means for anyone who does not have money, it's difficult for the person to even start.
Definitely.
There's no way you can advise them like, okay, if you don't have money, this is where you can begin, right?
Well, I don't know because there's no business that doesn't involve capital. You must start with something. So, I don't know. You can. I don't even know what to advise, because money is what we use money to make money. So, but you don't have money, there's no way you will make money. That's how it is. Except maybe you go for bank loan, which I know some people do that to make more money with payment of high interest rate. So, with the little money you have, you can invest to have more money with it, instead of allowing the money to be domiciled in the bank and with some outrageous charges. So you can just invest it into real estate business to have a high return on investment.
Okay, so what are the challenges you encountered in real estate?
Yeah, some of the challenges we've encountered in real estate is sometimes the fear of the government regulations, policies, and documentation. Some clients will tell you, especially the current Minister of FCT, Wiki is all out to get rid of all the scammers who have always been in Abuja in real estate, scamming a lot of people with fake documents. So with that kind of experience, past experience, so some clients, even when you tell them that your properties is legit, is genuine, they will still have the fear, the doubt that no, they will have to do some what we call due diligence in order to be sure that what they want to invest is actually not scam but genuine. So that's one of the challenges. For you to get investor to invest in your property is a difficult task these days. So we are facing that, especially in real estate. In FCT Abuja.
Okay. So how does the knowledge of English, or the knowledge you acquired while studying English and literature, help you in navigating your paths in real estate?
Yes, actually, the knowledge of English that I've had in University of Eyoh and the level of education I had as a result of the caliber of lecturers who nurtured us to that level has really helped me. Has really helped me because After some time, I've been to Abuja, and I have to click to another aspect of profession, which is human resource management, which I studied for some months. I got my certificate, and with my knowledge of English, because I didn't really know much about HR work or job role, but as HR personnel, I actually found myself writing minutes. I'm the secretary of my company in any board meeting, so I'm the one writing minutes for a presentation. I'm the one issuing queries, all form of permission leaves. So that aspect of English has really shaped me and had promoted me to the age like people are really respecting me, because I'm doing my job, not because I really have more knowledge about the HR, but because of the knowledge I had as an English expert or English graduate in University of Eyoh. It has really helped me a lot. Even the way I write my minutes, the way I present my minutes in board meeting, it has really helped. So no knowledge in this world is wasted, especially the aspect of the English language and a prestigious University of Eyoh that I graduated from. So no knowledge is wasted. So everything is interrelated.
Okay, so if there's someone who wants to go into real estate, the person is listening to you now, what will you tell the person?
Okay, if you want to go into real estate as an investor or as a developer, you must have experience, especially want to work as a developer. You want to open your business, a real estate company, you must have experience. Or even if you don't have experience, you have to employ people that have had years of experience, and you know how the real estate business works in terms of title documents, and you know the regulations in some aspect, because like what we are practicing in Abuja is quite different from what is practicing in Akwa Ibom in terms of real estate business. It has different documentation, so you need to have that experience, and you must have the money, because it is capital intensive. That's how it is. It is capital intensive. Most times you might have employees that will work for you for 6 months. They may not make sales. They may not make sales for 6 months. I've had that experience. In fact, I was on a call with one of my bosses, said that, so he was complaining that he has been in the business for 6 months. So he was actually looking for my professional advice. So you can be there for 6 months without making sales. So it's just by luck and how you can analyze the sites, the property, or convince, not even convince, educate investors. So you must have the experience before you venture into real estate. And 2, you must also have the passion for it. That's how, because anything you want to do and you want to be successful, you must have passion for it.
So you have the money, you have the interest, you have the passion, and you want to start. Where do you start? How do you start? What are the basic things you need to do?
Okay, you must have, one, register your company with the corporate affairs. Then also, like in Abuja, you must also register your properties with the Federal Capital Development Authority, FCDA. They must, and also what we call Abuja Geometric Information System. Your properties must have to be registered there to be sure that it is located to you by the government. So that at the point where clients want to make due diligence, that's where they go to check if your property has been registered by the government. So that is the process.
Wow. So that's been quite informative, and I'm happy that you're willing to give out that piece of information. And it has been wonderful speaking with you, and I hope that those listening would have learned 1 or 2 things. And I'm very impressed by your knowledge as you express them in the interview. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right. So I hope to sign your book now, and
yes,
then we'll take a photograph.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. Okay. So, well done.
Thank you, sir. Is your number?
Yeah, my card is here.
Okay.
And I have your number there.
We will.
Yeah. How long are you staying?
I'm leaving tomorrow morning. I actually came for a colleague wedding.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you're front and
I just came to see my share, so I told me about it.
Just call me, say this, come back. That's in my WhatsApp number.
Okay, no problem. Doctor.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so I would like to read one more point, and this is from day 20. The poem on day 20 is entitled High Life for 279. How can we fashion an egalitarian society? Society built on love. Love for all human beings, irrespective of tribe, religion, ethnicity, race, gender, social status, or class. When will the time come when I can shake hands with my brother across the street without fear of betrayal? I have come to understand that someone's high life is another person's low life. You are likely to become a philosopher of life if you listen to Dobia, Monday Bautam, Wemedi Mo, and Peter Ifyum. The problem of mankind is mankind. There's no fire without smoke. But we don't know if it is the smoke that causes the fire or the fire that causes the smoke. As long as human greed remains insatiable, protest and fight will always break out. As long as some people are given to eating others' portion after eating their own, the deprived will always feel aggrieved. As long as some persons want all the land for themselves, pushing the others to the slums and the periphery of existence, there will always be uprisings. As long as a select few keep imposing themselves on the will of others, crisis will never end. As long as the privileged keep profiting from the pains of the less privileged, as long as tortoise has made up his mind not to stop deceiving the other animals for his own selfish interest, revenge will never cease. The irony of existence is that those who preach love spew out so much hate in their actions towards others. Those who pride themselves as peacemakers have the highest stockpile of weapons. Those who settle disputes are the ones who caused the war in the first place. But I will keep hoping for a change. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Our gifted author, Eyoh Etim, has asked me, who is also a friend, has asked me to write a foreword for this book, and it is with great honor that I accepted to do that. The Groans of 279 is more than just a book of poems. It is a people's protest, a workers' lament, a chant against silence. Etim has gathered the muted cries of laborers betrayed by bureaucracy and transformed them into a living language. These poems are not bound by genre. At times, they speak as monologues, sometimes as ancestral chants, sometimes as unsent letters. Their strength lies in their refusal to be confined, just as the people's voice must not be confined to or by unjust systems. And what began as a 30-day social media challenge has become a literary act of defiance. In an age of fleeting outrage, Etim's persistence calls us to sustained attention, to remember, to feel, and to act. The Groans of 279 makes the local struggle universal. It turns a crisis into a symbol, a metaphor for all workers trapped in silence across the world. It is a brave, generous work that belongs not only to the literature of labor, but to the larger story of our shared humanity. May these groans not go unheard. May they stay us towards justice. Thank you.